to show you how to make one of these sleeves for accessories for your plate carrier. You can slap these horizontal on the side and they can go either under or over your cummerbund, or they can dangle down on the bottom like you've seen people doing. Lots of companies are making these, but they're super simple to make yourself and really cheap too. I'm going to show you how to make them for tourniquets, or the larger size that'll be for radios or magazines. The one I'm going to show you how to make is the magazine one because it's the most complicated. Basically, it's the same size as the radio one, except it has this little strap on the bottom. This strap is really important because if you're running around, you don't want the mag to shimmy down through it, which it will do if you don't have this strap on the bottom. Important thing about the strap is that whether you want to have it on your left or your right side, that would change the way the strap would need to be. So it can go on either side. We're going to sew the strap through the middle. So if you want to put it on the opposite side, say the right side, there you go. Now you can put the mag in like this. If you want to have it over here on the left side, you just shove the strap down through the middle like that. You can have it on your left side. Just a quick explanation on that. So we'll get started with it. To make this, you're going to need some 4-inch elastic, some 4-inch Velcro. You're going to take this Velcro and you're going to cut it into a 4x4 section, so basically just a 4-inch wide strip. Cut it 4 inches with the hook and the loop, and that'll give you 2 pieces that are the same size that you can put back to back. Then here with the elastic, what you're going to do for standard AR mag and the Baofeng UV82 that I have here, most of the Baofeng radios, you're going to want to cut your elastic at 7 inches. So you want 7 inches of elastic, just measure it at 7 inches and cut it there. There we go. Always fuse the end of your elastic because this stuff frays really easy. Okay, and now you're going to cut 8 inches of your 1-inch flat webbing. Okay, so now the first thing that you're going to sew is this little loop into the elastic. So you're going to fold the elastic over like it would be a pouch, leave about 1/2 inch covered up, and then find the middle of the portion that's left. So right about here is where you're going to want to sew this end to. So open it back up, making sure you're not going to sew through both layers, and then you're going to sew a stitch right here just to sew this piece of flat strap into the middle of this side of the elastic. Okay, and there's that. Go ahead and burn off the tails of your thread. Okay, now you can do the other side. And to sew on the other side, see how the strap's hanging down like this? Pull it over the top like this, come around to the other side, and you're going to sew it flat on right here in the same mirrored position as the opposite end, but flat over here. I'll tell you what that's going to do in just a second. So you're going to see that it's coming from this direction over here, but it's coming from this direction on the other side. So now whenever you fold this onto the inside, what you're left with is a loop. Because this thing is reversible and this can go either way, one side is always going to be folding over on itself. If the loop's hanging out the bottom of the pouch, it's going to be folding over on one side, but if it's hanging out the other side of the pouch, it's going to be folding over on the other side. This is just to keep both sides from being folded over one way and the neither side from being folded over the other way. Just keep some consistency, I guess. That way one way is not better than the other. That way, whether you have it on the right or the left side of your carrier, it's going to be about the same performance. But I guess as long as you get it sewed on the inside, it's not going to make that big of a difference. So next things next is take the two pieces of your Velcro, place them back to back, and then sandwich your elastic in between them like this. You're going to want to have about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch of your elastic between your Velcro sandwich, about like that. Sewing through the Velcro and the elastic and run that stitch all the way down to the bottom. Okay, now once we reach the bottom, we're pretty much just going to go and do a stitch all the way around the entire perimeter of this sandwich. I found that it works best when sewing these things together is if you put the hook side of the Velcro down. It seems like the sewing machine will jam a lot if you try to sew it with the loop side down. I guess the little presser feet and stuff don't like it as much. Okay, once you get back up here to the top, go ahead and come to where you're not nearly on top of your other stitch and run another stitch back across where the Velcro and the elastic meet up, so it's extra strong right there. So I space them out by about 1/4 of an inch. And I run back over across that again. Now, what I do from here is I'm going to go and just run a stitch across the middle, back up over so you have a double stitch on your far edge of the Velcro again, and then back over across, and you'll end up in the exact same place that you started from. So you can just trim all your threads off from there. Alright, there you go. You just trim your thread off. And if your Velcro doesn't meet up 100%, like a little overlay or something, you just trim that off. Just make sure you don't cut any thread. Take a little tab off the corners. That way they aren't pokey. There we go. Fits just right, and that's not going to go anywhere. And say, right now this would be on your left side of your carrier. If you want to put it on your right, what you do is push that loop through, and now it can be on your right side of your carrier. Or I guess you could always have it dangling down beneath, and if you want to grab it with your right or your left hand, you just toss the loop through either way. So that's how to make the one for the magazine. If you want to make one for a radio and you don't want the loop there, just skip that step. Just go straight from the elastic to sewing it onto the Velcro. And then, like I said, for this, it's 7 inches of elastic. And then the exact same thing as before. For a tourniquet, only cut your elastic to 6 inches. So a 6-inch piece of elastic, having about 1/2 inch up inside of the Velcro, will give you about the right tension on a cat tourniquet. Don't know about other tourniquets, you can obviously just measure for yourself if you have a different tourniquet that you want to have in one of these. So there you go. Super simple and super useful.